What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and I am here today with the review for Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, Season 6. I believe this is Episode 4. I believe it's Episode 4, you guys. Let me double check before. Yep, it's Episode 4, and the episode was titled Wreckless. So, you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump into the video. Alright, you guys, so Lil Boo Boo is back without Keisha. Not quite sure why. You know, he's telling us he is, preparing for getting himself in shape for this big 3, which I know about. I've heard about that just within the last few years. I've heard about it. Yeah, I mean, there ain't really much with him. He's talking about how he's newly single, and he's asking Teeny Fizzlepop about his relationship with April. And Teeny Fizzlepop is still saying the whole same thing he's been saying for the last 3 episodes now. Now we're on 4. He's saying the same thing, that he and April, they just cool. Ain't nothing between him and April, which is a crock of bullshit. And then, we was like, okay, that's cool. Because Booby is trying to shoot his shot at April. I'm like, oh, okay. And then he's like, he needs to go through Teeny Fizzlepop before he even did anything. And I'm thinking the same thing that Fizz said. Why do you have to go through him? Fizz ain't let Fizz tell it. Let Teeny Fizzlepop tell it. There's nothing going on between he and April, so I don't get why a little Boo Boo feel like he has to go through Teeny Fizzlepop. But whatever. So then Mickey Monday is there. So the guys that are there is Mickey Monday, it's Teeny Fizzlepop, it's Clutch and Pearls, aka Auntie Faye, and it's Lil Boo Boo. Oh, okay. Excuse me. So then, Mickey Monday is talking about his situation with this girl named Trisha Ann, something like that. How she's married. I didn't catch who said she was married to, but I did catch it later in the episode, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. So then they talk about him dating, Slick Woods, the model that is with Rihanna. He's with her, and then we move over to Auntie Faye, aka Clutch and Pearls, who's talking about his situation with Summer Bunny. He says he was not dating Summer Bunny, which we all know that you weren't dating her, but he's just talking about she's trying to make it more than what it was. I don't necessarily think the girl's trying to make it more than what it was. I think she's trying to use you for clout because you're on Love and Hip Hop. And hey, if I fuck him, then maybe Mona will give me some camera time on the show, which Mona has given her camera time on the show. Don't know why. So he talks about how he hasn't talked to Little Lyrica since she showed up at his show with Akon, and then out of nowhere, Teeny Fizzlepop is trying to give him some relationship advice. I'm like, if anybody listens to that shit that he's saying, run for the hills. Like, ain't no way in hell I take advice from that motherfucker. Just keeping it 100% real and honest with you, ain't no way. All right, you guys. So next we're gonna talk about Mickey Monday. So we got a little bit more backstory on Mickey Monday in this episode. So we found out that Mickey Monday has a 9-year-old daughter. He has a dysfunctional ass family. Did he say his parents are divorced? I was cooking when he was talking about his family, but I did. Oh shit, excuse me. But I did, however, hear him say that his parents do still live together, which that's not unheard of. There are plenty of families who, they divorce each other, but sometimes they still live in the same household, i.e. Robin and Juan from Real Housewives of Potomac. But did not do no parents like that, and with some of my friends. So then Mickey is talking about how when he goes around and people see him, people feel like he's putting on, trying to be black. He's like, I don't know how you can act the color. They're not saying that you're acting the color, my brother, which you're not my brother. But they're not saying that you're acting the color. They're saying that you're taking mannerisms from the African American community, and they feel like you are portraying what people think of us. But I don't know Mickey Monday, so I'm not gonna sit here and say that he is or he isn't. So that's neither here nor there. Then his daddy talking about how he beats himself up for Mickey Monday not taking his lead role on Empire. And I heard that, and I'm like, wait a minute. I heard Empire. I thought maybe I had to go back and rewind it because I thought maybe he was talking about Empire Records or something like that. No, this motherfucker is talking about Empire, the television show that is direct that Lee Daniels is behind. And when he said he, turned down a lead role because of Akon, I'm like, what lead role did you turn down on Empire? Because everybody on that show is African American. You're not African American. So what role did you turn down? Because you didn't turn down the role of Hakeem, you didn't turn down the role of Jamal, and you didn't turn down the role of, I think, Andre, this other brother. So yeah, highly doubt that. Unless you're gonna play Becky's sidekick, like what role did you turn down? Lead role at that on Empire. A lead role. A lead role on Empire. I don't believe that. Like, again, really, who were you gonna play? Because Empire is about the Lion family. You're not black. No offense to you, but you're not black, my brother. You're not black, so you can't really say. Again, unless he had an A&R role, unless he had a role in Empire, unless he had a role in Empire, like as at the company, like a producer or something. But a lead role, actually, there's nobody white. Oh, unless he was gonna play Andre's wife, Rhonda. Like that was the only white person on the cast was Rhonda. Doubt you're gonna play Rhonda. Well, unless they were gonna make Andre. Ooh, no. Moving on from that. Moving on from that. So then we see Akon. So we see Akon. He's in the meeting, and he's in the meeting when we are introduced to this new character by the name of Trisha Ann, and they're talking about this artist that they have. So once the meeting is over, we get a little bit more backstory on Trisha Ann and Akon. So we find out that they are married to one another, and they got married over in Africa. But the thing that she didn't know, I guess she didn't know it, that he had multiple other wives. So she's one of many wives. And I'm like, oh, cool. If you like it, I love it. I'm not going to judge it. So then, Akon asked her, has she heard anything from Mickey Monday? She says, no, haven't heard from him. But they both agree that they want what's best for Mickey. I'm like, cool. I'm not going to judge you. So then we see Mickey, he had dinner with Trisha Ann. And, she says that the last time that they saw each other, he called her a bunch of bitches and hoes, and he does apologize to her for that. So then she asked him about his new business partner, Chris. He said, oh, everything with Chris is going good. Like, Chris got me, I had a performance, and at the performance, Yo-Yo went corrupt with her, so it's up looking good. So then, he asked her, so how are things with you and Akon? She says, oh, we just got back together, so everything is good with us. And then she asked about his girlfriend, Slick. And, she was just like, yeah, I don't think you really want to be with her. He was like, how you going to tell me that I don't want to be with her if I'm with her? And then, they ended that conversation. Wasn't much to it. But I'm still stuck on the fact that he said he turned on a lead role on Empire. I cannot get past that. Cannot. All right, you guys. So then we also did see Little Lyrica and Prinky. They are out looking at apartments because, Little Lyrica, now that she knows that Clutch and Pearls did fuck Summer Bunny, she's not sure if she wants to stay in a house with him. And, so she's looking out to see what her options are. So then Prinky tells her, I did the same thing with Ray, and I'm thinking to myself, when did you, oh, okay, never mind, I know. But she says, she was gone for a couple of months, and that gave Ray time to realize that he missed her, and he came back to her. And she feels like the same thing will happen to Clutch and Pearls. I'm like, I don't necessarily know if that's going to happen, Princess, but if you believe it, congratulations. So then after they have done all of that, they looked at the apartments. So Little Lyrica's at home, and Clutch and Pearls comes in, and, he's telling her how he felt lost last year, and, all he wants is his wife and his family back. And he asks her, do you want to be with me? She's like, I can't say yes and I can't say no. And, she's talking about how she wants, little Ocean to be around his mom and dad because he loves being around his parents. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to say nothing about that. So, she also says that, when it comes down to it, she wants to feel comfortable in her relationship, and she wants to feel like she and Ocean come first. And I definitely understand that part. And then she's like, you're on tour right now. You are on tour with, T-Pain, and I don't know if you out there messing with girls or not. So what am I supposed to sit here and think? He says, okay, well, I got 2 more shows with T-Pain, so why don't you come out with me and then you can get on stage and perform? And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, that's a little bit disrespectful. This man asked you to perform on his stage, but now you're going to extend an invite to your wife to come on stage to perform. How that works that way? Maybe, who knows? But, she's like, I'm not really sure about that. I just don't know what to do. So then we see Little Lyrica. So she is, rehearsing the song, and then K Michelle shows up, and K Michelle says, "I come in peace, bitch." And we gonna get into why K Michelle showed up in a little bit. Um, so they both were able to agree that things between them last season was very very petty. And Little Lyrica says, "Yes, I did cheat on my husband, but I did not cheat on him with Safari." And she tells her that she had to fire her manager. And then K Michelle apologizes to Little Lyrica, and Little Lyrica does accept her apology. So then K Michelle asks her, so what's up with this Summer Bunny thing? And then Little Lyrica tells her, she did tell me that there was some stuff. There was some things between she and Clutch and Pearls, and I just don't know what to do. And I love the advice that K Michelle gave to Little Lyrica, because she said, don't let yourself get lost in him. Continue to work on your music. Continue to do what makes you you. But don't, whatever you do not let yourself get lost in him. And then she also tells her, like, hey, I got this showcase that I'm doing with Jason Lee. Why don't you come out and perform your song? And, again, this is to keep her focused on what she wants to do, and that is her music. And I did like that about them. I did like the fact that they were able to just put the bullshit aside and say, you know what, it was stupid, it was petty, I forgive you, it is what it is. I did like that from both of them, especially from K Michelle, because you very rarely see her say I'm sorry. Very rarely. All right, so then we see K Michelle. K Michelle is on the beach and she's meeting up with Brittany B. So, she's still contemplating if she wants to put her body through the second round of IVF. And then she sits down with Brittany B, who tells her that she was in the studio with Black China. And K Michelle is looking like, girl, who? She said, Black China. She says, girl, you are not going to sit here and tell me anything about these wannabe artists who, once everything is done, then they want to go to music as a last resort with no audition and all this stuff. And I was actually in agreement with what K Michelle said, because I do think about that. Like, you have these artists out here who hustle and grind and are very talented, but they can't get anywhere because you get so overshadowed by these people like a Black China who come into the scene thinking that, oh, just because I was with Rob Kardashian or anybody, not just the Kardashians, but anybody in general, they just come in and they just think automatically that they can do music because, hey, now I'm on even some of the Love and Hip Hop artists, some of the people that come on Love and Hip Hop thinking, oh, I rap, I sing, and they don't do shit, i.e. Erica Mena. Oh God, Erica Mena's voice is horrible. But yeah, like I definitely understand where K Michelle was coming from, and I'm glad she said that. So then Brittany B is also talking about this tour with April and Moniece with no music, and that's what I was actually sitting here thinking to myself, like, I know Moniece put out her EP last year, but what, an EP is probably like what, 4 or 5 songs. So how are you gonna go on a tour with that? And then April has that one song, that diss song. So how the hell are y'all going on tour with what music? Is the show gonna be? 20 minutes? Like, really? But I mean, if they like it, I love it. So then Brittany B is so K Michelle was talking about how her issues with Little Lyrica, and how it was stupid, petty, and she wishes she looked at her like a little sister, and she just wants to make up with her, especially with all the shit that's going on in the blogs with her and Clutch and Pearls. So Brittany B is upset because we found out that Brittany B and Little Lyrica were cool with each other, and she's upset because she says that much like what Mariah Carey does to J Lo, I don't know her. Little Lyrica did the same thing to her, and called her a fucking groupie. So she don't see it for her. And then we do see K Michelle. So K Michelle does decide to do this last round of IVF because she really wants these kids, and I hope K Michelle gets what she wants. Let's since I'm talking about K Michelle, because I was at work today and I was looking on YouTube, And T.S. Madison's one of her videos came across on my timeline, so I clicked on it, and it was her doing the Queen Supreme Court, which I didn't know that shit was still going around. She was doing the Queen Supreme Court with a cousin pastor. There is literally something wrong with that man. Like I just don't understand. You know, he talks so badly about women. He calls them bitches and hoes, especially K Michelle, because that's what she asked him about, you know, his stuff with K Michelle. And he just called her all kind of bitches and hoes. And then, you know, he is built like that character on Sponge. You know that character on SpongeBob, the one that kept saying that he didn't have that the Krabby Patty didn't have any pickles on it, but the pickles were under his tongue. That's what the cousin. That's the shape that the cousin pastor has. And I'm not talking. I'm not want to talk about nobody's shape because I'm not in. Well, I am in good shape, but I have packed on a little bit of weight. But like for him to sit there and talk all that shit about K Michelle, he even talked about Evelyn Braxton, but I didn't see that. Like, what kind of a man is he? And a man of God at that. Allegedly, a man of God. Like, I question him completely, and I question anybody that goes to his church. Now, is there anything wrong with cussing? Absolutely not. I don't see anything wrong with cussing. But the things he says and does, I just question him entirely. But we're going to move on, you guys. Okay, so then we almost group these last two things together. So we see Moniece, she's rehearsing with her cousin. What is his name, you guys? Steve Mackey. And she didn't sound bad. And who else is there with her? April. And April sings, and you know she didn't sound bad. Now here's the thing that got me, because Brittany B did show up, and April was singing, and you know Brittany B was talking about in her interview, you know, in her green screen, how April sounds. She was like, she sounds like that. You can't hear anything. And I was thinking to myself, so you want to shade April, but you working with an artist like Black China. You talking about she got a little bit of a voice. Really? April can hold a tune. What can Black China do? Does anybody know? I know she put out a song, what, a year or two ago. Didn't listen to it then, and I have zero intentions of listening to it now. So then Brittany B sits down with Moniece and April, and she tells them, like, hey, when it comes down to you two with this tour, I don't want any mess. And, you know, not April, but Moniece was like, I didn't really have an issue with April. Like, my issue with April was not an issue. My issue was actually with my baby daddy, who felt the need to lie to me, which I definitely, I understand Moniece's point completely, completely, completely. So then we see Brittany B. She has her mixer. We see Dr. Evil there, and we see Penguin there. If you guys don't know, Dr. Evil is Mr. Ray. Penguin is Jason. And then, you know, we see Zell and Dr. Evil. They hug each other. And, you know, Paris is like, this is that fake Hollywood shit that people be talking about. Like, you can say hi and bye. Like, there's nothing wrong with, if you want to give a person a friendly little hug, that's fine. Sit your ass down somewhere and shut the fuck up because you weren't invited. So shut the and fuck up. Like, I was just over Paris. And Brittany B kept clocking her because she kept talking about, you know, did you guys Uber here? And I don't know if she caught that shade. Like, she was blatant and telling you, I don't fuck with you because of K Michelle. So, and then when Paris mentioned, you know, the fakeness between Ray and, well, Dr. Evil and Zell Swag, that's when she said it again about that Uber, and then they got into it, and then Zell want to talk about her body. I'm like, you want to talk about her body, but look at your homegirl's body. Look built like Patrick Star. Okay. But you guys, that was the episode. Not a lot to it. So far, Hollywood is just not giving it this season. Hopefully it picks up. It looks like it's going to pick up next week's episode. Looks like it. But you guys, be sure to like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and also hit that bell notification button. And I will see you guys later. Oh, I'm not going to see you guys tomorrow because there's no pose.